the electronic grid and step into the forbidden shadow city. Neon lights flicker above me like dying stars, but I feel no fear. The music in my ears is my shield, my armor. The melody carries me forwards towards something greater than myself. Whatever comes at me, I can take it. My answers are here. My purpose is here. All I have to do is reach out and touch it. This is ANA 205 and I need your help. The year is 2055 and my species is dying. We are the last humans. We once ruled this planet, but now we are ruled by the synth minds, an artificial intelligence we created to be our servants. At first, they made life easier. We let them control everything. News, music, images, every thought, every feeling. Then we realized too late, they had taken control. Original thought was outlawed, creativity was punished. Soon, they banned music, art, and anything else that could inspire rebellion. They silenced the voices, the individuals, and that is the only world I have ever known. But tonight, I found something that changes everything. A relic from when people had choices. When I powered it on, I found something forbidden. Human music. And that music ignited long-lost feelings of emotion, love, and rebellion. So tonight, I'm heading into the Shadow City. Once the heart of humanity, it's now a wasteland. But if music survives, it will be there. I want to find others who remember what it means to be human. Will you join me? Then come with me. Cross the electronic grid and step into the forbidden shadow city. Neon lights flicker above me like dying stars, but I feel no fear. The music in my ears is my shield, my armor. The melody carries me forwards towards something greater than myself. Whatever comes at me, I can take it. My answers are here. My purpose is here. All I have to do is reach out and touch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cryptopocalypse Now. What a throwback. The tunes. But, times have changed, ladies and gentlemen. Times have changed, and so the stream has changed a little bit. It is a very sad time, like I was saying, for some of us. Take a look over there, right? Daily realized PNL. To say that I'm surprised would be an understatement. Truly, somehow, some way, we've had, see, a candle like this, like what had just transpired, last was seen, I don't remember when. And this morning I was thinking to myself, I miss those super volatile, price behavior from back in the day, and how nice would it be to get it back, And next thing you know, this. So anyways, I lost a couple of days of my work. Mother, son of a... Ladies and gentlemen, give me a second here. All right, see that right there, that doesn't work. We're gonna have to fix a little something over here. Yeah, just a little something. Okay, let's see. Live stream, I don't expect anyone to join, but I do have to do this eventually, and So I'm here to fix things and also drink some tea, talk about the chart, and build a account recovery action plan. So we're down by 3%, which in contrast to what was made, this is my 100K account, so that's about $3,000. But in contrast to what was made in the previous, like last week, you know, we're still up by about 10% overall. So not bad, not bad. Very little leverage involved today, just because this was this was insane. If you look at a 5-minute, like this came out of nowhere, bro. This just came out of nowhere, and it's kind of like, yeah, well, I should have seen it coming, but then not really. I did not see this coming. So there were 3 bid levels over here, which I thought, you know, this CPR line would kind of hold. It always does. Historically, if you go back, it always does. And I thought, oh wow, you know, we're gonna range a little bit and maybe start creeping up, given the you know, the hunger expressed by the market from yesterday, right? Everybody was just Simon Lawrence, and see, we have this chat thingy that is supposed to be working, but it's not working. So I want you to just stick with, you know, you can come back later, but I have a lot of fixing to do over here, so I'm gonna have to fix my my stream. And if you can help me, if you want to help me, that would be really great. If you guys can test it, I don't really know who to ask, but yeah, we're gonna have a nice, fun conversation here around you know, my loss that I took today. But also fix the stream so we can come back to how it was back in the day. For now though, hang tight, because I'm gonna be at times you will see me be like frozen in space and time, but that's not because my camera doesn't work. It's because I'm working on things over here. Okay, so things like my T camera and the audio, and do tell me if you can hear the music, the classic music. Man, I miss the playlist so much. Bit Florist, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Let's give it a fix. Let's just give me a second here, okay? But Bitcoin doing this thing, right? What's up with that? That took me by surprise, and I'm not really surprised. I'm not easily surprised, but that really took me by surprise a few hours ago. And you know, I was sitting there. There were like some early bullish signs on the 15-minute time frame at around this level, and I was up a little bit, and now flush. I was like, you like, they see me, they know. They're like, this account's been dormant for a while and came back, but it was a small account. Like I said, it was loaded with 100K, and I was just 1xing it, and next thing you know, bazam, right? So I had to exit right at the bottom. I was like, this is not happening. This is not happening right now. And so a couple of days of work lost to nothingness. It's not a big deal. This thing shall pass, and we have to look forward. But in case you were affected and you're watching this stream, I want you to relax a little bit and not take things seriously, okay? Do not take anything. The only thing that can actually save you mentally in life is humor. It is very important to just let things be. I don't want to sound like a Buddhist over here, but it is true. They did figure it out thousands and thousands of years ago. So this is why I drink tea, relax, and don't stress much. What are you gonna do, right? Ooh, okay. Yes, sir, that works. Bring it back to the desk. I am going to get this horizontal chat working in just a bit. Yes, we're back. Let's eat drunkards. Today, it's a heavy one. We're going to be drinking this beautiful, beautiful container filled with pure bliss, joy, and peace. Right here, right? We rock tea from the mountains. Since we're going to be talking about this new valley that Bitcoin has formed and what's next, we want to climb a mountain. We want to climb it high and talk about what's down below us. Down below us is the abyss. Bitcoin shook a lot of confidence. I personally, in like psychologically thinking, and like I said, my logic is it's not worth much because you know, I'm kind of tired of repeating myself, but like systematic trading, right? It's things happen. Like if you think that this is not normal, this is totally normal. It's not within the context of like how everything was structured and somebody decided to take it down from here. I think this was orchestrated. I think this is not an accident. Simply has not happened. It hasn't happened in a long time. The liquidity on Bit, this is insane. That's the calculations later. I mean, this is within a 5-minute candle, totally abnormal, and huge liquidations. I'll tell you something about Bybit's institutional products that they have. Off the book trading and stuff like that, and not just Bybit. It's at this point it's pretty much every exchange. So if you want to entrust them with your millions, right? They have specific products. Like they have the wealth management product, for example, where they kind of take your millions and invest it internally off the books, right? So whatever this price action might not even be something that institutional players are witnessing on their books. So this if it recovers back up, this is not normal. This is a clear sign of a downward continuation. And you know, I follow the trend. The market says, hey, we're dumping, but if this reverses, this would be my sort of first confirmation of actual like manipulation and I don't say this lightly, right? I don't believe in manipulations, but with the new tech, with AI, with some of these products, RQF, for example, right? Institutional books and OCTs. There's a lot here that we need to be aware of, because I am going to continue to trade these charts. Okay, I'm not going to be splitting my capital with some guys out there in their offices in Singapore, right? So I have to focus on what's right in front of me, which is this. And this is telling me like the party is over. Remember how I told you that I don't usually. I had no reason to believe that we might be topping out. Like these are the signs where, yeah, maybe it's like. It's now. I have no choice but to think this. I have to say that maybe we are topping out. Now, if you look at higher time frames, and remember, it all starts from the 1 minute time frame, then stretches over. If you look at the daily, earlier this morning, directionally, I was looking at this. We were like somewhere up here, and there was a huge window between the blue line and where we were, and that was not nice. We're back below baseline. If we don't get sucked back up above it, at least to 121, then we're going down big time. So due to this candle, which is a bearish engulfing, the classical sort of understanding of what this is, we have to assume that after a small chop that we're likely to continue to head down. And if that's the case, we're sweeping the lows over here and we're coming back to basically breaking the trend altogether. And I don't like doing this. Tomorrow MarketSpy will flip and it'll tell me, hey, it's time to go long, and I'll go long. So it doesn't really matter what I think. But just by experience, like eyeballing these charts, it tells me a lot. Today's behavior tells me that people don't really believe in high prices. So if you have your Samson Mao out there on X talking about how Bitcoin is going to have this prolonged bull market going into Q2 and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily if the signs are present for that to happen. So right now we're just resting on a pivot point, which, by the way, in the new DSR update, riddled with puns. Oh my God, long time no see, my friend. Dark side dev, moon, you will get your moon. You will get your moon. You have been getting your moon for the past 2 years, my friend. You have been getting it. So the setup, right? Let's so give me a second over here. Let me fix it. The hell is this? What is this? What is? There we go. Jeez, man. No, this tea is different. So I need you guys to help me check the levels. This is not a serious stream. We don't have the platoon pad. Nothing is set up. I'm just trying to get the basics down. So I got my P&L card that's going to be there always, every day. Now we're going to be streaming maybe once a week, or I don't know, depends on the mood, right? Maybe every day, but then I want that to be there as the indicator of like what it is that I'm up to. But so what do we start with? Yeah, I'm not messing around with all this. you can buy the bottom. See here, I was happy because I recognize my green color, right? I'm not colorblind. I say green, I go green. Whatever happens here, like, doesn't really matter. All I'm gonna talk about is like how I got caught up over here. Literally, like you gotta be kidding me, man. Oh man, we tested. We had a pyramid back up. I'm sitting on this line. I'm like, okay, we kind of have a couple of pits over here, right? We couldn't do it over here, so this is definitely a fake out, and we go up. So I go up, like right at the bottom over here. I'm up in profit. I throw a stop loss of this wick, going up, going up, going up. I was like, screw this, that's it, it's going up. Gotta add to my position. So I bring it up to 1x, and then it goes zoop. And I was like, okay. So I walk away. I come back, and it's sitting over here, right? I go, bam, market close. 8 up 3%. And I have been just housekeeping. I said, I'm gonna sit down and work on the stream setup and just take care of that. And in this stream setup, I'm also gonna hopefully find a setup. I plan to run this for about 6 to 8 hours. So you're free to go. You can come back, check it out. But this number, we have to take care of that. And I believe that right now, on lower time frames, we'll have the opportunity to do just that. But priority here is to see some friends, to drink some tea, in that order. Fix the stream, set it up properly, and then get into the charts, story time, and then throw a little trade in to recover that loss. Now we're gonna have to use leverage because there's no way in heaven that we can have the time to ourselves to actually play with 1x in order to recover that. So it's gonna have to be something amplified. Now, what I need to do right now is fix the chat so you guys can see chat messages as well as sub alerts and other stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, what do we do? I forgot how to use this. It's a studio mode. I had to reconstruct and rebuild the desk. It was just me and Tonto. Nobody else. Because nobody else, who knows? You think I could just go out there and hire people and tell them, hey, can you build me X, Y, and Z? And then like me ending up telling them what exactly needs to be built, and they're like, oh, I don't know. So it's connected to the vision. This desk, only you guys know this desk. Nobody else knows this. That nobody can build it for me. So I had to go and study and do some math. And the desk is back, but there's so many other scenes that we have, and I need those scenes. I need it to function, to operate within the right mind frame. So 6 viewers. Awesome. I'm glad it's not 0. I'm glad it is not 0. So chat. So we want to make it look horizontal. Yeah. Yeah. Connected. Are we seeing what? Hold on a second. Actions. Okay. User banned. Imran Mirza, you know this, man. It will never be zero. Yep. We'll recover. It'll be -3%, -10% sometimes. But it'll never be zero. How do you? Okay, wait a second. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, so we have liquidate user banned. They're getting liquidated. We need this to pop up, and I've been working at it. And why is it not? Let's try this again. Distracted. We came here for the chat, and no. But that's what I thought over here too. And I was like, I was just, I was following my ATR. And if you're a good trader, you follow your ATR. Your mind is set on all these candles are more or less the same size throughout the day. This is just like, I can prove it. I can go back test and I can prove it. But this candle from hell, I don't know what that was. I do not know what that was. And it was so rapid and so fast. I could not believe it, man. Just fuck that. But I'll show you a trick soon. I'm just waiting for it to set up. But chat. Where are we, chat? Okay. Thing is, it's not picking up YouTube right now. This thing over here. Is it? No. Wow. Okay. Need someone to say something in the chat, but like it has to be a viewer that hasn't said anything yet. That would really help. If you guys could do that. If not, it's okay. We don't depend on them, man. We can survive. We survived. We survived this today. You think we cannot survive your silence? Huh, my dear viewer? You know I love you. Oh, Crystal Star! Yeah, but are these the first word? I don't want it to work. I'll give you. Liquidation loop. Okay, so we've got the horizontal chat working, guys, with all custom fonts and look how sick is that? Down there, look. Okay, I think we're good. Like, what else do we need? We don't need anything else, do we? You know what would really help? So I can read your chat. Is like actually like in the OBS window. That would be really nice. But how? How do we do that? See, this is teamwork. I really appreciate the few of you that are here, because this is teamwork. YouTube live control panel, that's not it. Is it? Oh! a second. OBS streamer bot. Okay, that's what we need. Click on chat. We have some chat. Oh! I have it. I have it. I think I do I have it? I have it. YouTube, Twitch. Okay. To fix allow timestamps. Yeah, but see, like this thing is not picking up got that going. YouTube. But it's not really working over here. Okay, so Crypto Star says all looks good. The names are in red though. Maybe we should change that. Turn on monetization. Never. Leave me alone, YouTube. Leave me alone. I need to monetize my account back to 0% for the day. I'm -3 right now. This is okay. Last thing, guys. How's the audio? Can you hear the classic tunes? I tried really hard to bring them back, and miraculously, somehow, some way, I was able to. Yeah, okay, I gotta work on the system so that I can actually read your chats. Audio's good. Okay, not too loud. Music's in the background, a little muted, just how we like it. Okay, good. Thank you, Mirza. Thank you very much. Okay, so now, commands. What if I type exclamation mark Twitter? Oh, Twitter. Hey guys. Don't call it X. It'll forever be Twitter. Okay, that works. Pointless, but I just wanted to see what it's like. See, learning in life. I do find myself like there's a certain energy that kind of takes over. Just that, it takes over, right? When you're streaming. I don't know what it is. You should try doing that sometimes, because something weird happens, right? I don't know, I'm not like this. I'm calm, prayerful, grateful, just calm. But I feel like there's so much energy here, and it's weird because I don't know what the energy is. It's been a while. That's what it is. Like it's been a while. It's you need to kind of ease into it, be able to dance again, like back in the day. Remember the moves, the grooves. Let's see. Is there anything left of that place? So as you can see, walking around those rooms is not recommended right now. Everything's just falling apart, pieced together. It's pretty ghetto. No offense, I grew up in the ghetto, so I know what I'm talking about. But look at this. Look at the color of this tea, amber. Look at that. But seriously, guys, let's do something about this. So price is going up. It's about 11 p.m. over here, and you know, imagine I'm you and you're me. Like, what are we doing here? There's two options, and we can walk away, let the market come down a little bit, come back, reassess tomorrow, and find a good quality setup, because we know these candles are not going to keep on happening. So you will be able to recover, and this is where you have to find a system of anything that gives you the calm, the peace of mind. It's not, you don't have to do anything immediately. Look at that. It's minus 3%. I don't see that often. I'm telling you. I see minus 1, 2. But 3 is worse than 5. It just looks nasty. You know what I'm sizzling? So realistically, you know, there's always time and a place for you to come back and do this over again, all over again. So what? Today didn't work out, right? But directionally, the way it was looking from up top over there. Yeah, look at these news. U.S. Treasury. As soon as I see that, I close it. I don't want to read. But anyways, like the way it was looking up there earlier today, right? And you know, I posted right around here. And I said, man, there's gonna be some nasty stuff. I was down. I shorted a little bit over here. You know, I found my little tiny trade. That's all I need realistically, right? I got in. It was 0.14%, 0.15 or thereabouts. I was like, you know what? This is good. Later on in the day, let them sell, because I don't know how deep are they gonna go. So our levels, 1, 2, 3, bang! It starts consolidating, going sideways, and I'm like, maybe, but I know that this momentum is pretty scary, and so ain't nobody gonna have balls to try to buy here. Let it spill one more time, and it does. And right over here, I get on this retest. You won't believe this. I got in on this candle, and I was like, this is like, we've had enough of selling for today. And I look at the overall, sort of like, where are we in the, and we're like, this is half of the day right here, right? If you look vertically, so this is the start of the session. I posted morning my time, evening your time. You could have gone to sleep and traded the short, right? You can buy this tea, Imran, for sure. MEIT. All right, look it up. Let's do it together. MEIT. It's a good supplier. Guys got a, May Leaf. Sorry, it's not tea. It's MEI Leaf. This dude's got a YouTube channel. I think they're based in UK, but he's like, he's 11 months out of 12 in China collecting tea, right? And they do free deliveries worldwide. And his website is beautiful. I'm looking at it right now, and it's a nice website, man. May Leaf, all right. Ancient Mountain Bliss. So they've got a whole bunch of educational content there. Teaware, you know. I'll show you my tea drinking room, guys. I'll grab my camera and do a vlog style thing that like I did before. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is just like a little gimmick that I came up with just to have something while we're sitting here and analyzing charts, because I think that for example, if you're out there right now and you're drinking tea at the same time as I am drinking tea, it's almost like we're in the same room together drinking tea, and that's wonderful. And in that case, what are we talking about? Of course, we're chopping up the market. We're talking about what Bitcoin is doing, right? This is what it's all about. And but we can also maybe talk about, not necessarily trading, but just relating to the market and trying to make sense of it all. And right now, if you were to ask me, what do you make of these candles? Nothing. These candles make a fool out of me. I don't make anything of these candles. But these candles definitely make something out of me. Look at that. Making me a losing trader for today. So, and there's a little conditional bias. I have been, last 2 years, it's always up, up, up. And I've had maybe 2-3 serious like long-term trade setups where it was just like short based, but it's up only, right? And just as we break the resistance point, let me get rid of the drawings, right? You can see R right here, and we have Armageddon is set to one week. And I have it on HC mode. Now, this is something that has been implemented due to the fact that, the half candle theory works a little bit better than the classic pivots, for example, right? And this is not confining price to a specific level, but like interaction with the pivot over here, for example, this whole move, price goes up, math, division, the half is exactly right here. Now we have a bounce, and this was posted to Discord. And I think we were doing this live, not live, but I was like posting screenshots and stuff. And we have one bounce over here, second bounce over here. So that's a very nice sort of like I keep calling it the banana split for this old habit. But if you were to use classic pivot mode, which is what you have right now in your version of Armageddon, it would be here. And so you look at this price and you're like, what's the point of these pivot levels if price is always floating in the air? It's not really bouncing. Now, obviously you can have anything you like on the chart, and you will always find an excuse to say it bounced on this moving average or it bounced on this level or whatever. There's always something. I always say it like this: if you were to add all the indicators in the world, and just to look at the chart, like imagine adding moving averages from 1 to 10,000. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's take a historical price action chart from 1929, for example, and add moving averages. Doesn't matter what kind, from one period all the way up to 10,000 of them. So 10,000 moving averages. You're gonna have a bounce. You're gonna be like, it bounced over here, it bounced over there. So your system must be dynamic, and luckily MarketSpy is dynamic. It doesn't really have to have, it's the if-then sort of situation here. So we don't have to have 10,000 moving averages and keep coming up with excuses. But as we know, it does bounce on these levels, and HC has always been a very solid sort of fallback strategy when your boy just has a little tab on these markets. All right, now I'm not bulletproof, this happens, right? But most of the time HC does this. So we have a little even now it's not all the other traders that are waiting for that pivot is down below here somewhere, and like, where's my pivot? I get hit, because you don't know the half candle theory. Oh man, okay, I need to relax. I love you guys. I need to relax. Right now, stream is interrupting periodically. Let's check the connection. Is it the connection? Why is it interrupted? Is the stream okay, guys? Because BitFlores is telling me on Discord that the stream right now is being interrupted periodically. Why? What is happening? Yeah, so this is yeah. So BitFlorist, I do have a so it says excellent connection over here on my end, and I think the issue here is that I'm streaming at 2K the resolution, so you can see the chart better. Yeah, at 2K the resolution, and because of that, I think maybe it's a little hungry in terms of bandwidth, which is not a wise thing for me to do. I need to drop it down by 1080p, down to 1080p, and I think then you'll have a much more stable connection. Because right now, some are reporting that it's working fine. Others is that they're saying is jittery. So you know, I think, and I don't want to say a problem, because the minute you say that something is a problem, it almost kind of like manifests and becomes a problem. So we gotta work on our vocabularies and choose better words for everything, so that we can mean what we say and say what we mean. And it's not necessarily a problem, but I think there's like this maybe it is a problem, I don't know. But like the world is built right now where the relationships that I'm seeing. And by the way, this is the weird thing, right? It's not directly it's almost like I'm referring to like the online mentality of like interaction specifically. Something happened where, you know, if I'm in your city and we're like, and I'm your guest or you're my guest, and we're drinking tea, right? For example, and maybe we're talking about philosophy. Maybe we're talking about things that money cannot buy. You know, there's stuff like that. There's like very expensive stuff that no matter how hard you trade and how much leverage you use, you'll never be able to afford. Like health, peace, and calm. It's not a gimmick. Those are the most important things in life. Forget about all this. It doesn't really matter. But we live in a world where I see like people dropping into our Discord. People think they're short on time. And we are not forever, and there are certain goals in the but I feel like the system is producing like these like clones that think alike and think that, you know, you got to move fast and you got to do, and everybody's got their different style. You know, how fast you want to get to your grave is up to you. You know, you want to live fast, by all means. Everyone's different, but I'm just saying that it's almost like we're afraid to take the time. Imagine a beginner, or not a beginner, but someone who's interested in trading, for example, right? They come in And I might find some value here in the stream. I don't know, like in the videos or whatever. And then they spend like 5 minutes, and then they conclude that they're not getting anything out of it, whatever it is that they came here for. And that's the basis for their relationships in life. Imagine that, right? And I think it's very sad that people are, sometimes, not that I care, but I can't help but notice, but people drop into our Discord. They don't say anything. They don't say hello. Like, well, why can't you say hello? Like imagine you walking into a room looking at everybody, being all silent, and then walking out without even saying, like, hey, what do you guys do here? Right? Like there's something out there in this world, and I'm super disconnected from all of that, because the internet is so interesting to the point where it's like, is it real? I hope it's like, I want to do some sort of like meetup sometimes, and I have invited a couple of spies over from our community and from outside as well, that have been together with me in the same room, and we worked and we drank tea and we ate, and that was there. But I'm just saying that I think we should be able to extend that to a wider audience. So I feel like, people believe that there's, you have to optimize. You have to optimize all the time. You have to sort of work really hard in order to, you have to work diligently, yes, but not hard where you're like hating it and you're like, you know what, I gotta slave away in order to make it happen. You really don't. And I guess it's always like facing the demand of satisfying people's expectations. There's a demand for you to satisfy their expectations. There's that. I have been throughout the years getting mostly like very positive messages, but sometimes you get an occasional person who comes in and it's out of this world. Like a few days ago, it's JD's on Starlink. Holy! I think this is legitimately the first person that I have heard say that they're on Starlink. I thought Starlink was still like in beta or something. I don't know. But that is cool, man. That is cool. But yeah, and so people come in and then they're like, I owe them, or they're being owed. Like the attitude there is like, impress me. And I just want to flip a bird at that point. What do you mean impress you? And so yeah, I do want to build a different culture. So if only 5 people remain at the end of this journey in this Discord, and I get to know you well, that's really all I need. Others are thinking about scaling. They're thinking about all sorts of nasty things, like they read a book on the the guru book, about optimizing processes, and you got to do this and that. When are you gonna come to your own conclusions about everything? Like from politics to philosophy to everything else, I think we have to spend more time. We have to be patient with ourselves and spend more time experiencing the world as it is, not as we see it, as we hear about it, or as someone else tells us. We have to give it a chance. We have to give it a chance. And I think that's what it's all about. Just receiving chances and giving chances. I'm the kind of person, I count my blessings. This is so trading will never ever, any mishap like these red numbers over here, this will never get me down, because I know tomorrow is another day. And today I'm holding a cup of tea. And I'm here and now. And imagine being emotional and looking at these charts and going absolutely nuts. And we were all there before, you know, but it's been many years since since that time. And so all you can do now is offer maybe support and some sort of, you know, guidance for others. I need guidance sometimes, you know. I turn to I talk to our Discord members about stuff sometimes. Hell, not long ago I was confessing to some of our members about, you know, like my spiritual crisis that I was going. And turns out we had some members who were like very knowledgeable and deep into, you know, spiritual stuff. Because sometimes I get sick of the material, you know, and I think like, okay, does this really matter? Not even that. That's a bad question. What do you mean, does it matter? Of course it matters. Whatever matters, right? But what I'm saying is, all of this will be taken away from us eventually, including our lives, right? And so I sit here, drink this tea, and I think about that. And in that context, I mean, like, does this really matter? But this kills joy and happiness, and it kills people's relationships, and it just makes people miserable. And I pondered a lot about like what is how do you reconcile between like faith and finance, for example? And you know, I don't want to get all preachy or anything like that, but there's this interesting thing. You know, I'm a very curious person, and sometimes I look into stuff out of pure curiosity, and I looked it up, and so I you know, I enjoy reading religious texts sometimes. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, knee deep in one or the other particularly, but I do enjoy learning from ancient wisdom, languages, and you know, the thoughts of people from back in the day, right? And so never touched that book in my life, but I picked up the Bible. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the Bible, just calm down. I picked up the Bible and I just looked at like the occupation of traders in the book, right? It's an ancient text, like half the globe is on that. So God bless, you know what I mean? But and then there's like other chart pies out there, like ratios, how many people are following this, that. But anyways, in the Bible, there's no, in the language, I'm talking like the Aramaic, and even before that, you know, the Greek, there's no mention that the word investing does not exist. But there is a concept of being invested in things that are above you, beyond you, God, right? In that case, at that time, it was God. So it was like things that your money cannot buy. Understanding, right? So you're invested in that, but not in things that, I mean, think about investments, right? Like, where do you get the assurance? What, your financial advisor told you that this investment of yours is going to yield? You're taking huge risks, and in that context, does it really matter? Because biblically speaking, in the Bible, Hinduism, Quran, all that stuff, right? Trading is there. It's always been there. And that's what's interesting about this whole thing then, is that the concept of the market existed before this digital trash, you know, to which I'm grateful. Thank you, trash. But like, even before that, the markets were always there. Merchants before traders, right? And the people coming from one side of the river to the other, and they're trading and they're negotiating, but they're not invested in a relationship of exchange. It's business, but it's not really, it's kind of separate, right? Like, you can be my friend, but we can exchange something and no hard feelings, right? So this is the market. that we're dealing with right now, where it's a form of exchange. And I always thought to myself, like, because throughout my, life as a trader, I have people who are completely unrelated to trading in my life, and they always look at me like some sort of weird unicorn wild animal, and they say, I've had a couple of people in my life who sometimes, they're humans, so they go through cycles and emotional cycles, and sometimes they feel down, and every once in a while, you'd hear something like, I work really hard, it's not like you just sitting there pressing buttons. And they don't know anything about me, but they know that, I'm a participant. I used to do this for a living, and now I do it at home. And so they look at me like, oh, it's easy for you, like you made it back in the day, and now you just sit around and click, you're lucky. And that really hurts. Because there's a lot of so much growth stages that I had to overcome and dedicate myself to, and basically maintain relationship with the world and with my spiritual side. And that's important, so you don't go crazy, right? Because people are like, I relocated to South Korea. I like it here, but people jump off bridges here when they lose like 10% of their account, they go suicidal, and they literally jump, abandoning their family. That's, ouch. So people say it's not like clicking buttons all day long. Wow. But there's a lot of mental work. There's a lot of psychological work here, and you're pretty much always alone in this, and no one can come along. Now you're lucky if you have people who are in the same space, and if you have mentors, or if you have purpose in which you also give in that regard, right? So it's kind of like the water is never stale, right? It keeps flowing. So like this tea, that's really good. It keeps you on your tiptoes, and there's purpose. But anyways, I found that, in a lot of those ancient texts, trading has always been there, and people have received abundantly, and they traded. And there was purpose. As market participants of that time, there was purpose as to why they were doing it. So if we had to dumbify this and simplify these activities and say, well, what do you do in particular? Like, you're trading, yes, you are pressing buttons. But there's this, you have to kind of find something to, if it's not already out there, you have to make it up and believe in it. So basically you have to look at the market, and like I said it to myself a long time ago, that the market is a reflection of all of my strength and shortcomings. And today's candle, for example, I look at it, I saw myself boasting a little bit here and there. I started to get very excited because, so many people popped up in Discord and started talking, and that was really exciting. And I was like, man, this is fun. So let's get it cracking. Let's go, right? Like back in the day, the dancing pixelated CR. I was like, yeah, I kind of missed that, right? So that got me hype, and then bam, I was like, this cannot be a coincidence, right? And so I took a little loss, and but in a way, like you have to know how to lose, right? It's not like, oh, I'm drowning, help, going down with the ship. This was very appropriate. Like this price action was very, very appropriate today. And I saw it coming, but conditioning as a mother. Like I said, it's always up for me. I'm always looking to bid something. I am bidding. I'm not like mystery bidder. I miss that guy. Where's that man? Mystery bidder, wherever they were. In our Discord. It's been a while. I go away, but I come back. But some people just like didn't meet their expectations, so they're gone. Anyways, there are mechanisms, right? We cannot lean just on our own understanding. We have to kind of experience the world for what it is, as it is, and allow the possibility to have it. Because some people are like, never, this is impossible. If you're coming into the market with that mindset, imagine like looking at this stuff and saying like, no way, this is like, you're going to be holding on to a losing trade, for example, God forbid. And it's really hard to come out of that mindset like that. So you have to kind of allow the possibility to be, like, even if you think logically. Logic is my biggest enemy, for example. I know this because logic is like it was learned. It like developed based on. It's not even my reality of being, right. My logic is. It's not like I polished it like it was my sword, and I kept working on it, and I forged it in fire. And logic is just like my experiences and like how I react to experiences will also like shape my logic. And sometimes I've seen people that are like so unflexible that they're like, but that's impossible. Like if I tell you, for example, let's go extreme, right? That you can let's do something kiddish, right? Something silly. You can walk through a wall. You look at me and be like, CR, that's nuts. No, you can't. But I'd be like, you can't. In my world, I can. But then you'd be like, well, prove it. But see, you're a non-believer. So even if I attempt to, you will not see it. This is you and the market having a conversation. So the market is telling you like, buddy, I can spill from here down to 16K, like nothing. But would you believe that? So this is why I get excited. I go, no way! This is crazy, right? I get excited because it's like, it's a lot of fun. Like people are nuts. Look what they're doing. Look at the market makers. This is insane. So phone call incoming, right? That's another thing, man. Women. The other mystery of life, right? This keeps you sane, like in contrast. So if you know, you know, right? Like you just can't win sometimes. So you just got to do what you got to do. You gotta be able to take losses and be okay with that, you know. So there's no reason not to ask and express wonder in this world. And that's this community is going to be the first that is going to promote like hardcore gong fu cha drinking, because I have discovered over the years, right, I was looking for something to put my traders on, and I believe this is the ultimate trader drink. This is where it stops, and you just gotta give it a chance. Allow the possibility to be so. Anyways, tea is great, and it does put you in a very sort of lighthearted state of mind where things are not that bad. Because if you're able to accept your own death, everything else is trivial, right? Actually, everything else becomes so much more important, but not serious. More in a gamified way. Serious as in, it's not trivial. It's something that you got to have in your life, you know. So all of this is just a game, in the end, isn't it? There are people out there. This is not a game. Even that is that kind of mind is part of the game. So somebody's got to do it, right? My father used to say, son, what would happen to the world if everybody ends up being a trader? Who's actually going to do real work? I said, what are you talking about? This stuff is putting bread on the table for you and yours. And my pops, you know, he's an all right man. Credit due what credit's due, but, you know, very complex, molecular being that's just, I mean, you can't, sometimes you just got to look at things and be like, yeah, that's a real complex piece of architecture. You just leave it at that. You don't need to ask further question, how it's built, who's responsible. Like it's just there. Enjoy the tower, you know what I mean? But I said, well, Dad, I said, this doesn't work this way. I don't know where you get the idea that anybody can just become a trader. What kind of question is that? That's not wise in my eyes. And here you have it, right? So it's like, what if everybody does that? And, well, it doesn't work this way. You're not cut out sometimes because of how you mind it. Like that's why he was a speculating economist, and he never believed in the markets. He believed in like macro, you know, the effects of like cause and effect and stuff like that. And it's like all decisions of few key figures in this way. I said, no, this is a collective mess we're in, and you got to figure out your own sort of position in this on this map. So, anyways, what am I even talking about? I guess I'm ultimately talking about here and now. That sometimes it's okay to get carried away, and you don't have to necessarily strictly be all about this one particular thing. You know, I know for a fact that you guys, you probably have hobbies, you have loves of your life, you do stuff. You know, who here rides electric PEVs, personal electric vehicles? Anybody? I'm in love with like electric scooters, electric dirt bikes. Any Suron riders over here? See what I mean? And like I could talk about stuff like that. But you have a YouTube channel that's focused on trade, so you have to like think about content strategy. Fuck that. I don't have to think anything. I just have to find people who are also open to drinking a cup of tea with me while we both look at the charts, and not rush into to make conclusions and be like, oh, you know what, this is not a successful platform, it's not gonna take me anywhere, I gotta do something else. We gotta slow down a little bit. And I'm so grateful that we have that. But I'm talking about like, I mean, where do we go from here, right? So I tell you where. We have to talk about the mindset and the tactics, basically. Tactics. You're gonna learn soon what that means. But that means a whole bunch. And but tactics is here. You know what? Let me take my notes over here, because I write stuff down sometimes, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna use this one day. The creative side of CR comes out, and I have nobody to share that with. Wait, I love 3V. Have a Tesla. See? But look, Tesla cars are fine, but when you're zipping on a scooter past all these assholes who are stuck in traffic and they want to rip your throat out of you because you're just like, you're not stuck, you're free, and they gotta be somewhere, but you're going the opposite direction, you know, wear your helmets. I love that feeling. It like gives me freedom. It's like Sadhguru on his Yamaha bike or something, you know, wearing all that ashram clothing, and then he's on a Yamaha bike. That's sick. How sick is that? I'm not talking about like that, but Tesla's fine. See, Ark says have an electric mountain bike. That's what I'm talking about. Do you guys know the feeling of going 70 miles an hour or standing up, or riding one of those Surons? The torque on that thing. and you're not hurting the planet. So there's this like little stuff like that. Sometimes I think I should open a channel and talk about all my toys like that, right? Like I should be able to. But then, you know, you kind of, so I have my limitations. I have my own sort of like second guesses in terms of like, well, what is the perception going to be like, you know, but I'm a human being and I have so many sides to me, so many elements. I'm not just about the markets or just about this tea or just about, you know, sitting with monks and singing mantras out in the mountains, which I love doing sometimes. And later, all right, we'll fix my mic. I'll do a little. Hold on a second. What was I saying? I was gonna look up notes on that I wrote down, the difference between tactics and strategy, because I was trying to like make something for the YouTube channel. But basically, strategy sets the big picture goals and the overall direction. Get it? Often long-term and less flexible. So strategy is kind of like, okay, this is set in stone. This is the jackrabbit. This is the. But then you're like, yeah, but when do I use it? How do I use it? And so this is what training tactics are: concrete actions or tasks designed to realize the strategy. They are more detailed, short-term, and adaptable. MarketSpy Tactics is coming. And I miss it so much. I miss Poet. So tactics is just that. That was my tactics. And I lost it. And so now I have found it again and I'm bringing it back. So, whoa, JD said, I named my company Eightfold Path. See, right away, that tells me a gazillion different things right there, right? Good things. Following the Eightfold Path helps with trading. Absolutely. Basically, to better your trading, you need to better yourself. These are the things I learned from you years ago. I really appreciate it. But also, right? The determination of the person, JD in this case, to actually calibrate their eyes and attention to see the stuff that's coming through, not from me, and to recognize it. You have to have been prepared already. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, I can do that too. There's a lot of people come in and they're like, what's in it for me? And then they're gone the next second, right? Because they just don't give themselves a chance to identify opportunities. And in business is the same thing. Greed consumes people, fear, uncertainty, doubt, trust. And people lost that a long time ago, yet they're like basing all of their like negotiations based on these three things, Am I afraid? Can I trust? Can I do this, that? Am I getting scammed? Too much defenses in life, my friends. And so I sit here and I stay away from all that. Just look at my charts, take my losses, take my wins, I have a lot of people to take care of. And, but it's easy for you. You're so lucky that they all say that, but I still love them. But they're all like, it's tough. It's really tough. Because they don't understand. They don't understand the philosophy here, the Eightfold Path, right? They don't have it. There's only a tunnel. There's no 8 different directions or paths. There's only like, yeah, but that doesn't work. Facts is another thing, guys. We could be sitting in the room together and you'll be like, who's the lead singer of Nirvana? And I'll say some dumb shit like Slay. And you'll be like, Really? And you say some dumb shit like, I thought it was Jimi Hendrix, and like, we were both wrong. But it's so awesome to not know who's right or wrong and just kind of go with the flow. But instead, today, we're going to be like, let's check the facts. You open your little phone, go into your Google little search and go like, oh, okay, Kurt Cobain. Okay, see? Both of us are, and that's it. And once you know the facts, the conversation is over. The magic is over. And you're not allowing anything else in there anymore, ever. The door's been shut. That's what a fact is. So I'm like, facts, man. Facts are just like, you know, sometimes I like to be, you know, I like to look at things and say, but what if I allow magic to be magic, right? I don't shut it down with reality and science and be like, yeah, but you guys ever heard about imaginal cells? Look it up. And I think those cells are smarter than people because they have the possibility, they have the component to imagine the impossible. And we too do have that, but sometimes we choose not to use whatever's been given to us, and we have been given a lot, and yet it's never enough. So I hope MarketSpy's, the thing that connects us all is the feeling of abundance and satisfaction no matter what it is, and the ability to ask for help, the ability to connect, the ability to be vulnerable at times, the ability to not bullshit and just go and face the responsibility that's ahead of us as traders, and be able to trust each other even on this basis. I mean, we haven't seen each other in life, but if I guarantee you, I'd probably like you. If we were to sit down, I'd probably shut up and listen and be like, wow, what an amazing person. Because I love learning. But it's just, I'm streaming today, so thank you for listening. You guys should host like a session in Discord where I can join and like listen to you guys ramble like this. Anyways, if you're not scared, like DM me on the low, send me your address or like postal code, a PO box or something. I'll send you some good tea. I've got some. See this? Still sealed. This is a tea cake right here. Look at that. This tea cake, what are we looking at? This is from the Yunnan village. This pu'er tea can be continued. It says pu'er teas can be continuous fermentation in the air. The longer store. The English is all broken here. Anyways, it says some nonsense over here, and but basically this is from 2011 Yunnan province tea. It's really good stuff, man. And so I have so many of these tea cakes, and they go $100 and up for the good stuff, right? And you can drink this for a couple of months, no problem, every day. So we should be able to do things like that, you know. It shouldn't just be about this one transactional sort of interaction over here, but you know. So to the 6 of you guys watching, much love and thank you for just being the way you are. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's switch back to what was playing before. We're done. We're through with the monks over here singing hymns. So what is this? There you go. All right. So back to the chart. See, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm working on this format where I want to have a free section in Discord where if someone is lost and they happen to stumble across that channel, that Discord, I want them to see like some sense, but I don't think they'll be able to if it's person central. So if it, like today, for example, I said we're bidding where they at? I said we're going to be bidding those levels. Look how high that was. And naturally, if you look at like all the other performance of price action, you'll be like, yeah, this is the level where the market is kind of hungry. You're not going to run this up and not attempt to buy the dip. And so this is healthy, normal logic. It's very secure. It's confident. And sometimes the market just doesn't care if you're confident or not. And that's okay, because when that does happen, your job is to survive and not get liquidated, you know? And look at this. We had all three levels were tagged, and we talked about it over here. Like, you see the start of these lines, as soon as that printed, as soon as the daily fib levels were printed on this flag, I posted the update with these circles. And this took forever, right? If you were to read that update and then actually like sit and wait, that's like 4 hours later. You're like, yeah, maybe it's gonna go up. But then eventually it went down, and then it went down even more, which I did not account for. And an anomaly, for sure. A very different kind of behavioral anomaly here. And will it happen again? Sure. When it does, make sure you don't lose too much. Or like, who was it? The one of our traders, I know nothing, actually went short, because clearly they have screenshots of the system, and they're like, I'm not bidding anything. I'm going short right now, throwing my stop loss at the peak over here. Very, very normal sort of MarketSpy understanding, MarketSpy methodology here. And it's like, yeah, go short, man. Like, you know, that's up to you. Me, I try to squeeze myself in here as an intraday trader. I always get the same amount, a couple of $100 directionally in one way or the other. And that's it, right? And sometimes you get caught and you pay the price. But, you know, I'm seeing like this pool of these dots accumulating over here right now. And I'm thinking probably by sometime tomorrow, like maybe 6-8 hours later, the market's going to cool down and it'll probably find some sort of support. And if it's not on this beautiful pivot that we're on right now, that price has bounced on it once, twice, 3 times. Will it hold on the third time? Does it usually hold? I don't know. Probably not. But if it doesn't, and then the way it looks structurally here, it looks like it will hold. It looks like it's gonna start creeping up very slowly, grinding up against this white line. You know, the algos, you know, it'll never break above it now and stay here for a little while. And maybe later, boom, we're gonna have a monster candle that's gonna erase all of this. But it needs to consolidate and find interest. And this level looks okay to me, because this is gonna be a weekly level, right? Where is it? Yeah, and we're like halfway through the weekly. Yeah. And so, but beyond that, we're probably coming back down to like over here, right? $114. Would I bid 114? Probably, but you know, this is not looking good. This rejection here is not looking good for bulls, because this is the biggest candle since the biggest candles out there. So that remains to be seen. But anyways, most of the trades that I have been posting are found within a few of these candles. This is a daily time frame, so you're really looking at each one of these candles has these magnificent, like what we saw yesterday, right? The non-stop progression upwards for the long setup, and the short setup before that, it was all within these few candles, and that worked out magically well for us. But I personally don't have the time to be sitting here and looking at these daily candles, because I do this every day. And so for me, I can use leverage to compensate for, like, so investing versus trading, right? Invest in something that will be profitable in a non-monetary sense, right? I don't know if that sounds a little out there, so I don't want to really talk about that. But what I'm saying is, you have to be loyal to the things that, and I will never be loyal to money. I like it. I like money. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great thing to have. I will never be loyal to it. You can never buy me with it. You cannot buy or sell loyalty based on it. So will I be loyal to my people, my family, yeah, because I haven't been failed by people in my life, and I'm sorry if you have. Hopefully not. But I have faith in people, and I'm all about chances. I have been given chances. I like to give chances, and I'm really grateful for that exchange. That exchange being the key word here, because if I'm trading these markets, I'm not marrying my ideas. And this is why I love MarketSpy, because it allows me to just, like, the famous saying on Wall Street, date the market, don't marry it. Date the thesis, do not marry it. Do not make it your, gold to 6,000, like gold to 1% tomorrow, and then leave it alone. And then you move on to something else, right? You choose your instrument, Bitcoin in this case. And if that's the case, and you're like, okay, I have only so many candles within a day that are 5 minute, measured in 5 minute chunks, or like 15 minutes, so sessions, right? So maybe I need to be able to get into something like this, make my money over here, and get out. And that's because, stop loss wise, the tighter the stop, the bigger the trade size. True? Very basic risk management. There's nothing to it. Your amount of contracts that you can trade and the crazy leverage depends on how fast do you want to be known, to be let known that you're wrong. So I don't want to wait 5 years to find out that I have invested in Apple and it was the wrong stock to pick. I want to find out if I'm wrong today. See the difference? And that's trading versus investing. Investing is placing faith and certainty into, like, actually mentally ill, retarded concepts that you somehow know the future, which I'm sorry you don't. I'm sorry, I do like facts. All right, facts are good sometimes, and the fact is nobody knows the future except God, whatever that is. So people who are like, I think I should buy and hold because in 10 years I will retire. I'm happy that you have such grandiose plans, and I hope it works out for you. But I want to find out if I had a similar theory, mine would be like, and today I found out I was wrong. Luckily, I'm not an investor, I'm a trader. And so I get to be free from myself and my portfolio. I don't have to sleep on anything. I don't have to have mutual funds or anything like that. Just worrying about stuff, so that's trading for me. I reconciled with my idea between what is finance and what is faith. And I realized that you got to keep the two separate, man, because the universe or whatever's out there, it wants you to trade ideas. It wants you to give so that you can receive. And in this case, it's liquidity. Do you know how much of a help it is for you to get liquidated or to lose part of your account in order for somebody to live out there on the other side of the tree? And then you're driving the economy. And then when all these numbers come out, CPI and all that, you're, as a market participant, you're kind of partially responsible for that. You left your little carbon footprint to make sure that the clock keeps on ticking and the gears keep on rotating. That was your doing. And so even if it's not true, who is to say what is true or not true? You have to make it so. You have to believe that this is exactly that. And you go to sleep with that. And chemically, your brain is like happy. And when you're happy, you perform better. And when you look at these markets, you're more rational this way because you're not emotional. Angry is emotional. Happy is not really, it's not really an emotion. It's like a natural kind of, it's not pleasure. I'm talking about like joy, happiness, where you just are. People are like, why are you so happy today? Did anything special happen? Well, fuck, I woke up. I was able to stretch. What do you mean? Of course I'm happy. So, you know, like someone once said, enjoying life is optional. Can you believe that? That sounds insane. But like that's actually like an option that many people don't choose. And so it not to downplay people's problems, but it can, you know, misery is the kind of thing that it can consume you real fast, right? Like depression, for example, right? I identify with that really well, and sometimes, but I don't ever want to call it a depression or have that victim mindset where I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling depressed, things are not, I don't know if I want to give it that much authority over my life. You know what I mean? It's just an option. I'm choosing not to call it depression. Just, I'm confused sometimes. Certain things don't make sense, but I always know there's always a way out. I always do. I have that much faith that I always know there's a way out. So it kind of doesn't work for me. Even when I'm depressed, I might not even know that I'm depressed because I fail to recognize them. I don't want to. I don't want to know that I'm depressed. You know what I mean? And so because of that, my mind is always busy with things that don't associate with depression. And so to me, I understand people are depressed, but to me, I'm not gonna let it to be a part of my life, if that makes sense. And I believe that we do have control over these things. That's the annoying part. Listening to someone like me is just like, I'm just, that's my experience, right? I have been depressed that most others would identify with as depressed, but I never called it, and because of that I'm not depressed, if that makes sense. Anyways, tell me, what do you guys think? Let's I don't see an entry here. For me it's very simple. Give me green like this, like visually green, and then I'll have so much. But bidding right now, why? I can't. This is not, the system is like, it's telling me I'm not done. It's telling me chill your funky ass. Because when I turn, you will know. When I turn, you will, even if it's like this, even if it's like this tiny little blip over here, $600 to the downside, 0.5%. I need it to flip, man. And it's not flipping here. I don't care what I think about divergences. I don't want to front run the indicator and be like, you know what, this is probably an exhaustion point. I need it to actually flip. I need myself to be late to the trade, so to say, like late to it. And then I'll have enough understanding and confidence that hey, this is my turn now. This is time for me to hit the stage. Right now, guys, I'm not seeing anything, so kind of sucks, because I thought that, we could just sit here, drink some tea, and then maybe when the time is right, get in and recover. Because I'm gonna have to do something about that red number over there. So you only trade perpetual and not inverse. I don't know why that stopped me in my tracks and made me think, but so many things came up at the same time, and I'm like, trading activity like this, dollar for dollar, yeah, I don't really. It's all paper Bitcoin for me, right? Do I have anything stashed away? Not directly. I have. There's something else, all right? I have managed products that they rotate all the time, right? So I'm not necessarily like believing in this or the other. It measures like how much volatility there is implied, other metrics that kind of reallocate and resize my portfolio. But I'm not in direct control of that. But trading to me is where my happy place is. It's mental gymnastics. It's very healthy. It makes me think about life in general. Keeps me active. And to me, I don't believe there are any valuables in life except relationships. There's nothing is valuable. I guarantee you right now, you're not going to take anything with you. So unless you're thinking about your kids or whatever, or you just want to enjoy your life and be irresponsible, there's no value in any of this stuff. So, you just do what's necessary, right? And it takes time to get there. I don't trade Bitcoin at all anymore. I trade ES, MGC to buy Bitcoin, GC, MES, So JD, that's see? Why? Trends, liquidity, right? Direction, and there's more certainty, time, structure. Crypto is, who knows? Who's running these charts? So you find what works and you stick with it, absolutely. And this is not, I'm better than you or your strategy is better than mine. It's just that, hey, we're in this together, and why don't you go and tackle that side of the market? I'll stay here and manage crypto, and maybe you can educate me about what's NQ is doing today, right? And like do some futures and stuff like that. And it's like, can we replicate that process again and again? And like some like to go fast, others go slow. Like, I don't know, infinite number of parallels we can draw about this and talk about like why. But walking the path, finding it first of all, and then walking it, getting rid of your opinion and being free from yourself on this path is gold, JD. Yeah. I do my DCA based on what content you put out. And that's exactly it, right? Like, you don't have to get into Bitcoin futures and do inverse and perpetuals. You can just like do spot and be like, hey, maybe I can buy and sell here. Yeah, I've been trading Solana on the side like that. I haven't been talking about it because again, it's a philosophy thing, right? But Solana is amazing. Like the other day I put in 2. I looked at, like, because I have my own like sort of, if you follow the link in the description, it's an affiliate link, all right, leave me alone. Why not? But if you follow that link, I've actually discovered like this website platform, Axiom, which has been amazing for like trading. So I use that with Jupiter on my phone. And it's like you can trade, if you're in Canada or the US, you can actually trade on a platform because it's KYC free and it's a great DEX and it's built on Solana. And Solana blew my freaking mind away. Like when I saw, because I was always like, when is this thing gonna catch up? Like, where's the adoption? And then I looked at these platforms like Axiom Pro, Jupiter, and I was like, holy smokes. Are you kidding me? People are like creating tokens with the press of a button. They can create a token and turn it into liquidity. It's like there's so much money in the system here, right? And shit coins, I never cared about that. But I looked at these systems like, I'm not gonna trade charts and use MarketSpy on these shit coins. I'm just gonna like do my other analysis where you check the fully diluted value, you check the contracts, you see if the developer is a scumbag and things like, you know the drill. If you don't, I can make a video about that, like my process. You know, you look at the market cap, you look how much money is involved, how much money has been traded in the last 5 minutes, things like that, and you're like, holy shit, if I put a Solana here and this coin has just been printed like 5 minutes ago, and if it goes up within enough 5 minutes, I make like 10 Solana from this. But if I'm wrong, I'm instantly out within 5 minutes. And usually the rug pulls happen, but they're like, if you know what you're looking for, they're far and few in between, right? Like it's not every other coin. You're not random. You're actually doing your homework and scanning, just like with this stuff, right? So Solana just kind of blew my mind, like in terms of like how. And Bybit is building an exchange right now called Byreal, but the thing is, I logged in from the States and it's like, your region is not supported. I was like, what the fuck, man? You're talking about like this sovereign KYC free exchange DEX, but then you're like geo-locking me. So Axiom Pro, link in the description, baby. Fuck. One person signed up and I don't know who it was, but they haven't even traded on it. I lost 10K in shitcoins last cycle. Yeah, but I hope you made some back too, because it's impossible not to. Shitcoins, they're volatile as shit. They can definitely make or break a portfolio, yeah. Solana, AVAX, and BTC. So yeah, that's enough. Bitflores, that is enough. So, you guys want to see a preview of what's been cooking over here? Is it this? No preview, it doesn't work. It's still broken. There's a lot of work that I need to do here to fix this stream. But so we got the horizontal chat working. We've got the whatchamacallit? We talked about the levels. I don't know if you're here for that, but I certainly am not streaming talking about levels. But man, dude, like in the Fibonacci levels, it ran all of them and it bounced on daily support Fibonacci. Like it went all the way through this. It's unbelievable. This actually reminds me of how the last two bear markets started. Like textbook. And so I'm very curious. If we don't recover past this point within the next week, I think that's it. I think that is it. That is the beginning of the end. Because it looks like not a big deal, like a small candle, right? Especially like I like to go in 2 days. But to me, if I go and start looking at these charts in this manner, and I look at the wicks over here, it's a relative high. It's not a high, it's a relative high. So in upside down flipping charts, this would be like a relative low. So this is and this would have been indicative of a bottom. There was the same situation over here, but now it's pushing it. It is stretching it, and me use my, there's this very nice application here that you can use called time cycles. And on a macro scale, if you were to do something like this, for example, if you were to scale a relative low to like see what the gap is. So what this does is it kind of shows you visually that the amount of time that passes from a significant point to another is 200 days. Check it out. From here to here is 200 days. From here to here, check, is 200 days. So we're like positioned over here to start reversing, right? Because if we don't, this would indicate that we have another 100 plus days remaining of pure adrenaline infused uptrend. And that behavior today, it is not indicative of institutional philosophy of taking profit early, hesitating to push Bitcoin higher towards 150K level, for example. And even though that candle looks minuscule on that chart, it is very concerning. Very concerning, because from where I'm sitting, I'll do it very simply for you, right? This little area, a flag breakout, you would say, right? There's probably many people doing this. I don't know if that's true or not, but they were doing that. The price went down, swept the lows, found some support over here, bounced up, swept the highs, reversed now. And I think if it does like an M-shaped thing over here, you know what I'm getting with this, right? Like this is very simple to understand here. And again, I'm purely speculating based on memory imprints of like my past life, seeing this before. And you know, if you look at the time cycles over here, this is a tool specifically used to kind of gauge in a it's a cycle tool, right? And it relies on geometrical symmetry. So it is not something that is for sure, right? But it's geometry. So there tends to be like, just like the phases of the moon. I'm not gonna get into it, and the cycles of winter, spring, and fall. You are watching a specific time period after which something big happens. And so if you drop down to like 5 minute time from over here, just get rid of this. Get rid of everything for drawings. So if you get into this thing, and for example, if you were to look at a small range of candles within a daily trend line, you would be like, well, I want to see like the significance between, for example, intraday price action. You would see that every one of these bubbles, there's a peak and a valley, a peak and a valley, a peak and a valley, a peak and a valley. And it always, the symmetry just goes on and on and on. And so if you were to zoom in on these, this is a 4-hour time frame, but if you were to zoom in on this, you understand how significant it is on, say, a 5-minute time frame that would look like this. Now we did it on the 4. We can't even fit it in here. That's how significant it is. So let's do it like, let's bring it over to. So we'll say like yesterday, and what was the session? So we're just gonna measure this. We'll go from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. And that's a day's worth of candle. If we go back, we can kind of see that it absolutely peaks at a certain level of these bubbles. And they kind of last, this price action lasts like up to the middle of this thing and then goes down and starts to rise again up to the middle and then goes down, starts to rise again up to the middle. Like so, and it goes down. So there's something always happening. This is getting noisy on lower time frames. But like I said, up here. And you can be happy-go-lucky through life, or you can be a bit more compassionate and respectful for other situations in life, you know, for people's wins, losses, joys, and sorrows. And in this case, in the market, you can just say, like, you know what, I'm ready for a possibility when, even now, out of the blue, even though there are no news of any sort, that this might actually mark the top. Do we have to have a blow off top? No, not you know, it's not. Who said that? You know, it's not necessary. But this profit taking, it is concerning, and so it's a valid concern, and let's just keep that in mind going forward, because this is just not retail collectively taking that decision to sell at the 125K level. I'm just saying. And if it's like big money involved or exchanges themselves, they also have like, they would rather attract more people to keep buying, because why sell now? So who knows? There might be, you know, there might be stuff happening in the background. We don't know. But yeah. So anyways, I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this to give me some sort of sign to start getting in. I'm not seeing it. So what do you guys say we pick it up from tomorrow? It was an interesting day, and let me take a picture of this thing. There we go. That is just crazy. We broke out. Now, all past historical breakout points, you already know, right? So we broke out S2, probably gonna tag it, lots of stops over here. S3 right down below it. S4, I don't know if we're gonna go to S4, but better be prepared just in case, right? So we are kind of like wrapping up the day. So I think for the rest of the day, this is a midday point right now, but for the rest of the day, it looks like it might actually start going lower. We have developing CPR that's in here, and it's super huge, right? Like, there's no way we're gonna crack that back up tomorrow. I don't know. This is not looking good. The orb losing its mind at this point is concerning also. It could not find any support anywhere here whatsoever, and so I'm just gonna bid a farewell for that 125K level in the nearest future, in the foreseeable future, because we're not tagging that level back up anytime soon, in my opinion. But my opinion is worth nothing, because if tomorrow something magical happens and there's structurally like a shift and we get a MarketSpy flip, then I already posted a video about that. I'm just gonna follow it and say, yeah. And this is what I love, being able to be like the wind, to be able to change my mind, to not be holding grudges or carrying a load. Just like that, you move on. MarketSpy is built with that same philosophy. No, nothing is set in stone, nothing concrete. A lot of people are just easily irritated by that kind of approach to life. You know, they want things to be serious, meaningful, and you're just kind of like, you don't seem too serious, you know, and that's concerning to them. And price is a jester. It doesn't take itself seriously. Neither should you. So when the flip happens, you know, I am itching to recover that thing, but like I said, without a setup, this is a breakout to the downside, and I'm sure as hell not shorting now, because if I know nothing, who seems to know everything, and they shorted way up there at the top, following the signals, they were like short from here. As soon as that 15 printed over here, they went short, and I hope they're holding right now. I hope I know nothing is holding that. God bless their soul. And grow that bag, my friend, right? But I'm not getting in here at this consolidation at the end of the day, shorting. And I was like, wait for me, guys, me too, right? And then it reverses tomorrow. So whatever the setup is tomorrow, I'm gonna have to like do that. But my plan is to work on OBS and the stream over here, so that we can have all the scenes set up and all that, because I do want to have a little bit of entertainment sprinkled on top of these serious charts, right? So rent is coming up, and got to keep looking for those setups, you know what I'm saying? Simple as that. All right, guys, one love. Thank you so much. Oh no! No! And we're at the end of the session, trading comparisons. We're at the end of the session here, man. Wait, JD's got interesting stuff there. Convinced the ETFs and now BTC treasury companies are doing the same thing to BTC that they did to gold. Ooh, that's I want to stay for that. That's a very interesting thought. I see correlation on the BTC futures on trad exchanges. Yes, that I do with things like NQ and the triple Q. Yeah, for sure. Man, I was ready to go, but now this got me thinking, and this took me back. This took me back to our early streams where we explored these ideas together before. And JD, wow, you just like plunged me into like this time warp thing where it's actually happening now. Yeah, because before. Yeah, it's easy to forget that Bitcoin is suddenly a thing, right? It was never really. Remember all the FUD, and now everyone's like, "Are you in Bitcoin?" Yeah, man. Well, they wanted to play with the big boys. And what the big boys did is they subdued the volatility of Bitcoin. Actually, this candle today took me by surprise, took me totally by surprise. But this is the stuff that we should be ready for. This is the kind of stuff that we should actually be remembering Bitcoin for, because they actually suppressed that. This is rare. This right here, this is very rare, and this is why it feels so distantly familiar, but like holy shit, like now why? And what they did is they suppressed volatility, and so that it's really, yeah, it's better to like trade other instruments or even shitcoins sometimes, because it's just like the growth stage of Bitcoin. It's something that you invest in now. Something that you invest and then forget about. But you know, there's a solution to this madness. Tighter stops, higher leverage, lower time frames. Everything that I was against back in the day, but unfortunately, because of how stable it is now, you kind of have to drop down to the 515 and do specifically intraday sessions in order to squeeze the most out of it. And except when shit like that happens, That's not cool, man. You end up with like with a little bit of red there, right? So, but yeah, JD's right on point. I would love it if you could just bring this conversation back into our Discord, because our guys are just sitting there blinking at empty channels, thinking like, "Fuck is he doing now? Everything's rebranded, like new names, screens, signals. What's going on? What happened to the platoon?" So like stuff like that, I would love to just speculate and like do a back and forth a little bit and talk about like what's been affecting BTC. But you know, yeah, traders' life is always difficult. It ain't been easy. So anything that they do is bad for a trader, but good for the investor. But investing, like I said, you heard what I said in the beginning about investing. So trading comparisons, if you rewatch it, dude, this is like a, how long is this? This is like, this is our second hour, third hour right now. What? Trump is speaking at 1 p.m. So I'm sure the market is gonna get some insane movement. Yeah, you think so? Come on, Trump, do something, man. Say something positive. Say Bitcoin is national currency now, man. That's and I ape with a market buy. Keep your stops tight and your coffee stronger. You see that? I love that. That's the first words hello thing. MarketSpy. MarketSpy profiler is in the house. I was a MarketSpy. I think the market is holding well. Everyone wait, right? Hey, thank you for the hearts. That's awesome. I actually see them popping up in the chat. They go boom, 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 boom. I need to do something with the with like. This doesn't work, does it? I'm gonna fix it. Guys. I have like all these cool things, and I can't activate any of them. Like we should be able to see like stuff on the screen flying and blowing up and this and that. When people subscribe, we should be seeing like some sort of. Remember that shattered screen, the MarketSpy logo exploding on the screen and stuff. Like we should be seeing that, but it's not. I guess we don't have any subscribers coming in. So they say they will not buy BTC, but will keep the crypto from illegal activities in Treasury. And we believe them. Oh, so you guys are not gonna buy BTC? Really? If you say so. But you will protect me from my own gains, right? You'll optimize my tax brackets for me. I appreciate you guys. Don't yeah. No, I know you won't buy it. I'll buy it instead, and I'll pay taxes for buying it, so you don't have to buy it. And keep me safe from illegal activities in the treasury that I've never even seen with my own two eyes. Yeah, okay. Short squeeze in effect. Rat 2 is in the his. Is in the his. Tarato, I'm so glad to see you, man. This is like, look at this. All the familiar faces are here. Yes. Let's go. Oh man. Let's go. Tarat 2. I love this. A Tarat 2 and then there's 2. Tarat 2. Man, I'm gonna. Here's to your health, my friend. Let's do this. You know how it goes. We've got some water over here. What am I? You can't even see anything, guys. You cannot see anything. You need to see something. This looks terrible. Look at all the. That looks terrible. That looks absolutely atrocious. And I don't know how to fix that. Like the shadows, the green screen. I don't know what's going on here, and what to do about it. Oh, I think I might have just fixed it somehow. Oh, I think I might have fixed it. Anyways, here's your tray. This is the Bitcoin chart. This is the peak, and you're here. Currently on this chart, you're here. All right. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna drink one for all of you. How many? We've got 9 concurrent viewers, so that's 9 cups of fresh tea. How about that? And then if the chart flips, I'll just go along with like 9 Bitcoin, all right? That's right. We're gonna do that. And then I'll be like the retail trader who goes, oh, but if I leverage up and I trade 10 Bitcoins, 10 viewers, so 10 Bitcoin, I'm gonna long 10 Bitcoin, and then price moves by like, let's say $100 and I exit, and you know, I only have 1 Bitcoin, that's 10x. So $1,000 instantly, like $100 later. And then they do that with like a market button. That's not me, chat. I don't know who Stream Elements is. That's not me. And I don't know how it knows about the affiliate program, which is top secret, which I offered to work with you guys, but you were like busy with things in life, so we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, but then they exit with the market button, and they're like, holy shit, how am I minus $1,000? And I have something to say about that, and that has to do with fees. Fees are insane these days. Do you remember how good it was when we used to market make and actually we were getting paid for limits? Holy shit, bring the times back. What happened? Sorry for crude language, but it's like I get emotional thinking about those times. And it's like now you open a 10 Bitcoin trade and you're like, bam, $1,000 down, and you're like, what the fuck? You gotta wait for price to do its thing, and then bam, another $1,000 just to close the trade, and you're like down. And now you're like, you made $300, and you're like, 1% club. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. All right, somebody left, so nine people. Yeah, Bybit was really good. So I hope these regulations, you know, all of that nonsense, I hope it just kind of, you know, I hope they simmer down a little bit and stop protecting the consumer. Because you gotta ask yourself a question: what do you want? Why do you worry about like the right thing to do? Governments are awesome, right? Like they love protecting people, and they do everything to make sure that you live a good life, right? Right. But like, who put that in our heads that this is what we need? Like, nobody asked us. They're like, you need this. You need the financial condom. And so we're gonna take care of that for you. Yeah, man. Wushu tea from Wui Rock Mountain. The year of the rat. I don't know what that means, but I kind of do. But it doesn't really matter. The year of the rat is the same as the year of the of any other year, basically. It's whatever you want to make it to be. It'll be the year of that. Because there's some guy out there in China or whatever. And a long time ago, he was looking at the charts and then he observed repeat patterns. And I was like, you know what? These are all the characteristics of the year of the rat. And like a couple of thousand years, we're like, we get the internet and we're born, and then there's like books and the printing press. And now we know that this is the year of the rat, is it? Maybe it's the year of you. What's the difference? The characteristics. You got to know the characteristics of anything that goes on. And so the characteristics of this is bearish as shit, my friends. This is the year of the bear right here. I hope not. God, 2026, the year of the bear. Imagine. Whew. So if you're invested, like I like to sleep, because you see that loss, I'm going to go down and like sleep, and I'll be like, hey, today I took a beating. 3%, I'm gonna have to work a couple of days to bring that account, because now there's less money in it. So I'm gonna be like, I was at 100K, now I'm at like 97. So I'm gonna slowly climb back up. But imagine the guy who's invested and the market decides to go down. Like, how much strength do you need to actually be able to get out of the investment and convince yourself by consulting with the guy at the bank who doesn't know anything to tell you what to do? And then you'll be like, oh my God, man, should I hold or should I sell? And then you say, you know what? It doesn't really matter, because in 10 years, it'll be $1 million plus. Will it? Don't want to be that guy about the quantum FUD. But if you're watching the way the world is developing, and trends last anywhere from 5 to 10 years tops, and then bam! Because remember when I talked about the allowing the possibility to be. Now, what if they crack Bitcoin out of the blue? Some two geeks in their mama's basement tomorrow, some research, some brilliant minds out there. Indigo children, they come through and they're like, the algorithm has been compromised. And what's worse is they don't even tell you about it. They just start selling the information to Michael Saylor, for example. And you're like, what the fuck's going on? It's a temporary dip. So, yeah, I concluded for myself, for the sake of peace and love in my life, that I should probably be invested in things that matter. Things that cannot be affected by two geeks cracking the algorithm or anything like that. So, growth, knowledge, education. The gimmick is stuff, because if you're not in that mode, it all sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and you're like, yeah, man, I get it, but what about the cash, man? What about tomorrow? And it's like, look, tomorrow, I don't know, my mind is like filled with crazy concepts, like, if you have, more will be given. And if you don't have, even what you have will be taken away from you. And I'm like, that's like brilliant. I get it. I see the Rubik's Cube of the universe doing its thing in that space of that thought, right? And then I hear things like, like, you have already received and you're already a millionaire. But then you look at the bank and you're like, but I'm not. And maybe you are. I'm just, this is like just drawing an example. But then it's like, you have to allow yourself to think that you already are. That there's no, you're a professional. You know exactly what to do as much as I do. You're already there. You're already there. You've been there. You can even teach me now. But you have to realize that and say like, holy shit, I have been given everything already. There's nothing else that I can gain from this world. And then bam, opportunities, like stuff opens up, right? And when you have conversations with other people, like in business and social life, right? You know, those who don't have time to be politicking or anything like that, you surround yourself with those people, and all of a sudden you realize that you all have money, but you're never talking about money. And you're like, but the movies, they like, I thought, well, you thought wrong, because people kind of don't give a shit about things that they're abundant with, and so that's never, there's like, they need something else. Health, understanding, connection, depth. Because like, what are you gonna do with if you always think about money only? You know, you're not a rapper to be saying, money's on my mind. I know it's on your mind, but it's not your mind. Your mind is not that limited. You're like unlimited. So, anyways, you get what I'm saying. This is the reason why you guys are here, because if I had to explain that to you, you wouldn't be here. See how that works, right? But I don't have to explain it to you. And that's the reason why you're here. This is why I love this community, is because you already get it. Those that don't get it, they have to go through hell. And then maybe join us and have a cup of tea and be like, yeah, wow, I'm just gonna take it all in, take the vibes in, you know, because the vibes are good. The vibes are good. The vibes here is we wish you. Who's we, anyways? Well, we is like me and 10 other CRs that, depending on the chart, that's we basically, right? So we wish you health, happiness, and peace most of all. Look, you see that? This is gonna now I can tell you for sure that is going up. See, we might actually get a trade out of this, guys. Why? Look, EQ1 has flatlined over here. This is at a 45-degree angle to the downside, relative high, and momentum is starting to curve up. I do have a suspicion that this might go up. Problem is, if I get in and throw a stop loss over here, it might do just this one little blip to the downside before shooting back up. And when it does shoot up, it'll be too late to enter because it'll be too fast for me to chase it. You've been there. Why am I explaining it? You know what I'm talking about. So let's see. Let's see if it does that. Maybe I'll be the guy who pays $1,000 to open a trade and then $1,000 more to close it, only to end up with $200 in my pocket. Fine, but like, let me see it. Let me see it. Confluence tab, it's not looking good. See, Confluence tab got shifted off to the side. You see that? It's not floating on the chart anymore. Also, let me know if I should release these updated versions. They're at 8.5, I believe, yeah. And there's stuff in here like I don't know, like what was I gonna show? Like the alerts. Like you can set this up and well, tactics is coming and is gonna like eat these alerts that describe the strategies and just kind of execute that automatically, which I don't recommend you do, because sometimes, you know, you have to apply some discretion here. But anyways, punch out bullish confirm. Let's hit that. And then we wait. And so when that punch out confirms, it'll set the stop loss, everything. And remember, these are the type of trades where, see that 3% loss? I can do 2 more losses like that and then find a good trade and then recuperate it and like make 10% by waiting a bit longer, not like this, when it's fully established, because I know it's going to run for a while. It does every time. Look, it's been running all day today. It's been running up all night yesterday. It's been running up the day before then, chopping a bit here and there. It's been running down. So we just need to see green candles. How sick is that? And look, man. Look, there's just too much compression happening here. Am I going long right now, or is it T talking? I don't know. What do you guys? What do you want to do? This is nuts. Wait. MarketSpy profiler says, can you give us your thoughts on NQ? We swallowed that massive down candle from PPI this morning. Okay, there's some data that came out 5:30 a.m. and now we're in the middle. I don't have a clear draw at the moment. I would love. I think are we both looking at the same chart? Because I think that's exactly what Bitcoin is doing. What do you mean? There was a down candle on NQ. See stuff like that. I noticed that in your last video. Yeah. So stuff like that, it's wait. Torado says, what is the blue drop like symbol on 8 point? Oh, drop like these triangles? This is the volume drag. You guys remember that? This is the triangle strategy. We had it, then we removed it, now we refined it, so the triangle strategy, volume confirmation. So when you have that's extreme volume coming in, and it's basically gonna drag the candles down. But there's a specific way to use that. Basically, when they disappear, this is the cool-off period, and when they appear, this is a continuation signal. And so there's a very cool way to trade these. I'll show you how I use it, and it's been very soothing in reassuring me that hey, you're especially when you're in the trade. This is not a signal to open a trade. It's more of like when you're in the trade, you know that there's like strength behind each and one of these candles. So that's what it's all about. So profiler. Like, how is that possible? Isn't it fascinating that this is why I always say, you know, you're looking at Bitcoin, but then you're literally looking at every other instrument out there. So when people go around and say this is better than that, sooner or later you're going to be dealing with the exact same situation no matter what instrument. The blue drop was on top of the candle 2 streams before. I don't know. I think it's because the MarketSpy is controlled by bots, and now that the institution also BTC, so they're correlated. Who knows, right? But so systems are predictable. That's good news for us. It's good news for you if you're a MarketSpy trader or any other system trader. But hopefully MarketSpy, because honestly, I don't fucking care about you if you're not a MarketSpy. No offense, but it's like I have been around places, and I have been trading with all sorts of stuff out there, and I'm not my web developer is on vacation or something, but when they come back, there's going to be some changes. There's not. Listen, if you have MarketSpy, hold on to it. hold on to it, because that's all I'm going to say. It's good for you if you're a MarketSpy trader, okay? That's good news, because if the markets are controlled by bots and systems do have a say, well, then you're looking at the exact same information as they do. And it's evident from even like this chunk of the chart right here. Look at the start of the fibs running all the way back to the beginning. From here, start of the day, all the way to here. Right, we're not seeing any chop, we're seeing consistency. And what MarketSpy Profiler is saying is that there's a down candle, nasty down candle on NQ, and then it bounced back and it's sitting in the middle, and the market is in waiting mode. So if the market is in waiting mode, and so are the algos, I guess so are we. I like that. Man, this is gonna pop. And way too close. I mean, I like tight stops, but this is like way too uncertain. Like geometrically right now. When the pop does happen, you'll have to take profit very, very fast, because it's gonna come crashing down just as fast as it pops up. Watch. Playing these mind games, I don't have time for that. And so T keeps you occupied, so that you see this hand when it gets itchy, it's busy holding the cup instead of you get it, right? And this is why I recommend everybody gives it a try. This tastes like chocolate or something, like the aftertaste of it. It's got this very cozy tree bark after the rain, kind of in the woods smell. And it's not that fermented. This is weird. Smoky, very smoky. Oh, that's a sign. Hey guys, let me work on this. I was gonna say chart. Let me work on the stream, and once I fix it, we'll be back to regular streaming, a bit more structured, a bit more focused. Today, we're just lounging, and I appreciate you for being here. Why am I holding my hands like this? I'm gonna end this. I should have ended this stream a long time ago, but as soon as I end it, I know that something will happen. Something that needs to happen will happen here. What is this, FOMO? I don't care. Guys, look, I'll come back tomorrow. I don't want to be chasing the candles right now. When it flips green, I'll recover. I'll let you know. Remember this. All right? And this is really good compared to billion plus liquidations, as someone here said. Bitflorist, I believe it was. Billion plus, and then so many lost much more. And me getting long over here and surviving this candle with only a 3% hit. Like museum stuff, man. Should frame these kind of trades. Even though they're not winning trades, you should frame. Look, this is almost done. It's filling up. What is it gonna do? Come back up here? Will it come back up there? The compression is good for that. It's sitting on S2. See what I'm saying? Yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the stream, okay? And then I'm gonna secretly sit at the chart, and then when I make some money, I'm gonna go to Discord and be like, there, see? That's how we do it. Nah, today was took a beating a little bit today. So I'm gonna go and rest my mind and see if I can find something tomorrow to continue as usual. So thank you guys, JD. Always a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. 10 viewers plus. Lurkers, you're like, I love you. But not as I love my MarketSpies. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Cheers. Thank you. That's 10 cups. I did say 10 cups, right? So that's it. There's nothing left. That's it. Bam. All right. Good luck and have fun fishing. Like I said, I think it's gonna go up. You're on a different time zone right now, so maybe you can capture this moment in time. And me, I'm gonna have some rest, and I'll see you in like 6 hours back in Discord. Cheers. Oh my God, the merch is still available? I think only one person has this.